This might be one of the worst road to WrestleManias in a very long time. And this is evident by the lack of ticket sales. And I know you guys will be like, well, the ticket prices are extortionate. They are, but they've been extortionate for the last 3 years and they managed to sell. So why? I mean, just look at the title reigns. Minus Gunther, the rest of them are less than 6 months. SmackDowns are as bad. Look at that. What happened to long-term booking? Let's go title by title, and Shinsuke Nakamura's US title run was one of the worst title runs of all time. Yeah, you can blame booking, but you have to also blame Shinsuke Nakamura. Like, he's been in the company for more than 10 years and he still can't cut a promo. On the contrary, look at Io Sky. She's been there for about half the time and she can cut a better promo than Shinsuke Nakamura. But why not give Shinsuke an advocate? Why not even give him Paul Heyman? Like, CM Punk doesn't need Paul Heyman, and so doesn't Roman Reigns. Shinsuke got all the talent in the world, he just needs someone to cut a promo. But they take the title off him in short notice and give it to LA Knight, who's been defending it week in, week out with opponents we don't even care about. Then we got my favourite title in the WWE, and that's the Intercontinental title. Braun Breaker has it, rightfully so, he's an amazing talent. But oh my god, where are they going with the storylines? AJ Styles came back at the Royal Rumble and him and Logan Paul had a feud. And about 2 weeks later after that, they started teasing Braun Breaker and AJ Styles. Like, if you remember, in Raw and SmackDown. So you thought it would be AJ Styles versus Braun Breaker versus Logan Paul, which would be an insane match because they're all three different wrestling types. Instead, they sacked it off and made it AJ Styles versus Logan Paul, which in my opinion is going to be the match of WrestleMania. But where does that leave Braun Breaker? In a weird angle with Penta. But that doesn't make sense either because there's no long-term booking. For example, the minute Penta stepped into the WWE, they could have had him feuding with Braun Breaker leading up to WrestleMania. Because that would have been long-term booking and a great storyline, which is all I care about. Instead, they got a complete mess with the Intercontinental title being on the line week in, week out. Next up, we have the World Heavyweight title, which is on Gunther's hands. And I love Gunther, man. Especially this segment today on Raw. But we've got Gunther versus Jey Uso 4. Do you know what I'm saying? Their fourth match, which is looking bad. If Jey Uso wins, that will make perfect sense and great booking and long-term storyline. Perfect. But in the last 2 weeks, Jey Uso's dropped the main event from his persona, and also it's not going to be the main event of WrestleMania, leading me to believe that Gunther is going to retain it. If Jey Uso wins, great. But if Gunther wins, another pointless match with terrible booking. Which leads me to the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. And this is just as bad. Io Sky won against Rhea Ripley like 2 weeks ago. And it's been on the line week in, week out. What should have happened is should have been Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. The whole Dominic Mysterio love triangle should have carried on until WrestleMania. Which would have been an amazing storyline, amazing plot and long-term book. Instead we get Io Sky out of nowhere being Rhea Ripley for the title. Better yet, this title would have been perfect with the whole Bianca Belair, Naomi and Jade Cargill triangle. That would have been an amazing triple threat for the title. And that should have been the match of WrestleMania. Again, 3 different wrestling types. That would have been the match of WrestleMania. An amazing match. Definitely a 5-star match. Instead we've got the Io Sky, Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair match. Which is going to be a great match. Don't get me wrong. But it does nothing for the plot. Nothing for the storyline. It's going to be a Naomi Jade Cargill intervention and just kill off the match, man. Then we've got the WWE Women's Championship. We've got Tiffy Time versus Charlotte Flair, man. Charlotte Flair comes out of nowhere after long-term injury and goes straight for the title. What's going on? Long-term booking, where is it? Instead she wins the Royal Rumble and goes straight for the belt. It makes no sense, man. No long-term booking, no storyline. Just terrible, terrible booking. Also, this main event should have been for a title. It would have made CM Punk's WrestleMania moment a lot more sweeter. Instead we get Gunther versus Jey Uso 4, a useless US title match and a useless Intercontinental match. What's going on, WWE? WWE needs to hire me, man. I'm just playing. But I feel like everyone's too nice and there needs to be a lot more cutthroat in the business. I don't care if you're coming back from long-term injury. I don't care if you're a big name. If you're not making sense to this plot, you're not coming to WrestleMania.